What is happening, guys? This is Daniel, and today I'll be bringing you a Summer League evaluation of Emmanuel Mudiay, 7th overall pick of the 2015 NBA Draft, rookie point guard for the Denver Nuggets. So, let's get to it. Let's start with offense and go into great detail about his pick and roll play. And here, when no big man stops him, he can go right in and finish nicely at the basket. Again, pretty poor defense as Mudiay is able to go right to the basket and he scores. Again, the sagging big man does not step up, but instead of taking a short floater, he goes for the finger roll and it gets swatted. For the most part, Mudiay had no trouble getting to the basket off of the pick and roll, but he had trouble finishing at times, and here he gets right to the basket, but he can't convert the easy layup, and he has good but not great explosiveness, and this showed at times trying to finish at the basket. He didn't get all that much lift at the rim, resulting in some difficult finishes. His attacking wasn't immune to turnovers either, and twice he got caught trying to split the pick and roll, forcing the issue, and it resulted in turnovers. When the defense forced him sideline on pick and rolls, he did something very clever at times, which was snake it back toward the middle where he'd have more passing options, and here you see he does that. He's very patient and dishes out to a wide open shooter. Again, watch him probe, going east-west first and then attacking downhill, and he finds the rolling big man. But numerous times he tried to snake it back toward the middle and it resulted in a turnover. Of course, a lot of this has to be credited to inexperience, but his handle was very loose, I noticed. He got the ball poked away several times. This was exposed in the pick and roll, and I'd say his handle at this point is below par, and on this play in particular you can see his handle is very loose. Out of the pick and roll, I also noticed he did a great job of hitting mid-range jumpers, which is a good sign and a bit surprising. I don't see this ever becoming a go-to shot for him, but end of the shot clock, if he has a competent mid-range J, that would be useful. Now let's talk about Mudiay's passing in the pick and roll, which was fantastic, and here the big man steps up, so there's the pocket pass for the assist. Again, the big man steps up, so there's the pocket pass, and he gets the hockey assist. But here you see he tries to force the pocket pass and it results in a turnover. He has a good feel for passing and great timing here for the alley-oop. Watch this here. Mudiay knows the defensive big man needs to contain the ball and then hurry back to his man, the screener. So Mudiay puts on a few moves and hesitations to draw the defender in and get his man the easier shot. But the best part about Mudiay's passing skill set and also his overall skill set at this point were his skip passes off of the pick and roll, which were simply incredible. He sees the whole floor and he threw these passes with a great amount of accuracy and timing to get his teammates open shots. He's a step ahead of the defense, so here he knows a weak side defender will bump down on the rolling big man, so the moment that it occurs, boom, there's the skip pass for the open three. He has the right amount of patience, timing, and basketball IQ to make these passes successful, and even more impressive, I do not recall an instance where he turned it over throwing one of these skip passes. There were a few times where he lobbed it a bit too much and it got tipped out of bounds, but no turnovers, which is extremely impressive obviously. And while not everything in Summer League translates to the NBA, I definitely think this skill will down the road because he's not playing bully ball, he's simply making correct reads. And here are two instances off the pick and roll where he drives baseline and makes a wraparound skip pass for a three, again showing off his patience and also his unselfishness. Now, the one major concern I have about his pick and roll play is his shooting, and smart teams will simply go under these ball screens, daring him to take threes. And in Summer League, Mudiay only went 2 for 14 from beyond the arc, and by going under these screens, it can really stymie Mudiay's pick and rolls, and here it results in a turnover because the defender went under the ball screen. He'll have to do this more often, which is punish the defense by hitting the open three. Now let's talk about Mudiay's attacking in the half court outside of the pick and roll, and for the most part he did a nice job of not settling for too many jumpers. Mudiay for the most part had no trouble getting to the basket as he does a really nice job of putting together a few hesitation moves, though he had trouble finishing at the basket at times. He definitely needs to improve his touch, but he did have some nice drives where he got fouled like you see here, and where he gets to the rim pretty easily, making a nice shot inside. And here's a nice finish off a backdoor cut where he absorbs the contact and gets it to go. With his penetrating ability, Mudiay also did a nice job of driving and dishing, making the simple pass, and I like how when he isolates, he's not afraid to give it up with a novel idea. And just tremendous court vision this time on this drive and kick out. In terms of Mudiay's jump shooting, like mentioned, it's pretty poor at this point, 2 for 14 from beyond the arc and only 6 for 12 from the foul line. His mid-range shot's not bad, but his 3-point shot clearly needs a lot of work. In transition, Mudiay was very valuable for the Nuggets Summer League team, making good passes, and here again is a very nice wraparound kickout pass. A little behind the back pass this time for the assist. Though of course his passing wasn't perfect, and here trying to lead a player, he turns it over. And this time an uncharacteristic mistake as he misses the wide open shooter, instead opting to go 1-on-2, and he misses badly at the rim. His finishing was a bit better on the fast break than it was in the half court, though it really was a mixed bag as well. He gets the and one here, and on the next play you'll see a very nice reverse layup. And not to be the dead horse, but his lack of explosiveness was really evident. It's not a weakness, but it's certainly not a strength of his. His explosiveness seems pretty average. So, offensively, I think he will be an elite passer in the NBA in 2 or 3 years. He's very savvy in the pick and roll, and he's pretty good at getting to the rim, very crafty, uses hesitation moves. On the downside, it's pretty clear he's a bad shooter at this point, and I'd bet on his mid-range shooting in Summer League being a fluke than it being a sign of things to come. He's an inconsistent finisher, which I mentioned, and his ball handling is pretty loose at this point, though with hard work that should definitely be something he can improve upon. Moving on to Mudiay's on-ball defense, which was a mixed bag, and his effort was not always the best, and here he gets blown by and has to foul. Again, instead of moving his feet, he tries to reach and get scored on. But when he was putting in a certain amount of effort with his on-ball defense, it was pretty good, and here he forces Napier to turn it over. Again, he shows solid lateral quickness, and here he almost comes up with the steal. Active hands this time, poking the ball away. But you can see his effort is pretty weak here, fighting over a screen, and he gives up a 3. Again, little to no effort fighting over the screen, giving up a floater. He had trouble dealing with screens in general, and here he gets faked out. He also often went under ball screens against capable shooters, giving up open shots. There is a chance the coaching staff directed him to do this, but to me it looked like he was just cutting corners, being a bit lazy. He also went under a bunch of off-ball screens, down screens, giving up open threes. It's okay if you take the right angle if you see an opportunity, but that wasn't the case with Mudiay. He has a high basketball IQ, he understands rotations, and here he expertly rotates, forcing a pass out. But like I mentioned, his effort was subpar, and this time he doesn't even try to rotate or take a charge. Here's a simple awareness mistake as Mudiay doesn't stop the rim runner, and they get a layup. Here's Mudiay's defense in a nutshell. He's relatively alert, he's going to make the right rotation, but when it actually comes down to sprinting and making the closeout, the effort really isn't there. I know what you're thinking, not clueless, that's a backhanded compliment. Not the case, I could have easily typed in there high IQ, but not clueless seems more conservative, and what that means is he doesn't lose his man off the ball, he can make correct rotations. And Mudiay has the tools to be a good on-ball defender, size, strength, and decent quickness. But his defense in general was pretty underwhelming because his effort was subpar, which affected him on and off the ball, and he had trouble with screens, partly due to effort, but mostly due to inexperience, which he'll certainly improve on, obviously, over time. Well, there you have it, guys. Mudiay at 7 was a great pick, though of course he has his flaws, which I pointed out. So, thanks for watching and see you next time.